I picked up this Dick Smith multimeter from a junk shop for a lousy $5. Cat number Q1140. Let's get these terrible cables out of the way. It's quite dirty, but it's pretty cool. This might have cost a bit of money back in the day. It turns alright. One broken terminal there. Maybe not broken, maybe just missing the red bit. Maybe, yeah, just missing that. Look at that needle bouncing. What's that about? Now, if we take it out, missing batteries. They look like C or D. Now, I believe this has already been opened. That case is disgusting. I think we're just going to immediately go vacuum that. Now, this has already been opened. And inside's not too bad. Only one screw there. Pretty clean. Ooh, wobbly. Anyway, this is not a repair video. I'm going to clean this up, see if it works. Now I've dug out my 1983-1984 Dick Smith catalogue. I haven't had this since 1983. I found it at Tamworth Tip in about 2005, 6 or 7. I don't remember. Anyway, this model, here it is. It is the most expensive analog multimeter that Dick Smith sold, $69. It checks transistors and measures capacitance too. It is professional quality. Apparently $69 in 1983 is worth $216 today. Looking closely at this, you can see that it's a 360 TRCX-A. And here it is on the Radio Museum website, multimeter 360 TRCX by Kamoden Electronic Laboratory, Kamoden, Tokyo. And there it is, exactly the same thing. So I've cleaned up this thing. This is just the front of it. I don't have 2 C or D batteries to run in this thing, so I'm just going to run it off a power supply. I managed to take this knob off without noting where it should have gone, but there's no guarantee this was in the right position anyway. So I need to figure out where this knob should go. Now there is a fuse. This fuse has had it. I replaced the what looks like a 3 amp fuse. It's so rusty it's hard to tell. With a 1 amp fuse, I don't have a 3 amp fuse. Going a lower rating's better than going a higher rating with fuses. And I won't be measuring anything like 1 amp anyway. Got my 10k resistor hooked up again. And this thing is still dead as a doornail. I've realised you can just put the probes together to make a 0 resistance and then adjust the 0 ohms calibration knob. And we do have some life now, and I've put the chicken head on the 1 ohm multiplier, and we can adjust the meter to 0, and we'll put on the 10 ohm multiplier. Now that needs adjusting again. And if we put this on the 1k multiplier, adjust this to 0, and let me hook up the 10k resistor and see what it reads. It's reading nothing. But if I move the dial to 10K, it then bounces to about 8. But that suggests, if this is correct, which it probably isn't, this is an 80K resistor, which it isn't. So it's still balked. After a whole lot of mucking around, I've learned a couple of things. Firstly, it doesn't need batteries to measure voltage, so that's good. I have managed to figure out where the chook's head goes, mostly by looking underneath on the other side of the dial. It also only works when laid horizontally. I've got this set to the 10 volt DC range and the meter zeroed, and I'm going to hook this up to a 3 volt reference. That's more or less 3 volts. And the gauge is moved to just over 2. As you can see, we're in the 10 volt range. But by tapping it, it'll make its way up to 3. As you can see, the meter's sticky. Now I'll turn the voltage off, and that hasn't returned to 0, but it will if I tap it. This is now set to 20 volts, or nearly 20 volts. The meter, it's on the 50 volt range, and if we tap it, there it is, reading 20. So it sort of works, but the meter's sticky. So resistance measurement seems to work. I've got it on the 1K. Now, the dial's not going to infinity, but you can actually zero it. So that's shorted out, and that's at 0. So let me hook up a 10K resistor. $10K. I've had a quick go at trying to get this panel meter out, but I've sort of given up. I really don't want to break it just to, you know, get this mechanism freed up so the needle doesn't stick. It's not like I'm going to use this thing anyway. I've given the case a bit of a clean up, and it's not amazing, but you know, it's better than what it was. So I'm just going to put this in the case and put it with my other multimeters. And now I have 4 analog multimeters that I'll never use. This one I've had since I was about 8 or 9, so that's 40 years. This one I got in the box from a flea market. I don't know how much I paid, $5 or something. This Micronta, I think $10. I'm pretty sure this doesn't work. I spent a couple of minutes trying it out when I bought it and then lost interest. And there you have it. Treasure in real life.